Good afternoon, BookTube. This is Johnny. I'm down in the lower level. I think I came down here to show you some recent thrift store haul books. I don't think I've done that in a while. Today is, what's today? Look at my composition book. I only write this at night before I go to bed. Last night was a Friday, so it's Saturday, July the 13th, 2024. It is 12 o'clock noon here in Southwest Michigan, which is about 20 minutes from Lake Michigan. It's about 84 degrees outside. We have the central air going, so our house is probably about 75 degrees. And I came down here to show you my thrift store haul because they're piling up. I want to put all these books away so I can start collecting more. First of all, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to tell you where I got these. Sometimes I tell you I got them from Goodwill, I got them from Action House, or I got them from Salvation Army, or Blue Stockings, or Gateway Rescue Mission Thrift Store, or Amazon, or a couple of these my wife got me the other day. She was at a thrift store and she bought me 3 books. And somebody gave me a book. Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I had, it was last Sunday, I think it was last Sunday, Carol was at church, and this couple came up to her, and she said, "I know who you are. You're Johnny Keane's wife." And she said, "Yeah, I'm Carol Keane." And they were Troy and Sandy, and they were from Monroe, Louisiana. And Troy was around our age in his 70s. And he said, "I've been watching Johnny Keane's BookTube YouTube channel for years. And I just came up here to Grand Rapids and Holland area to visit the bookstores, Baker Bookhouse and Reformation Heritage Books. And they really were into thrift stores, looking at used books. And so we had them come over Monday. They came over Monday evening. They went to the bookstores last Monday. They went to Baker Bookhouse. They went to Reformation Heritage Books, and then they came over here in the evening, Troy and Sandy, and we had dinner. We had some nice Christian fellowship, and we talked about books and talked about our lives, and so it was really an enjoyable time. So yeah, so they gave me a book. That's right. They went to a thrift store, and he got me this book. He got me 3 books, and 2 of them I had, but I didn't have this one. River of God's Genius, Courage, and Betrayal in Search of the Source of the Nile by Candace Mellard. I didn't have this one. I have her other nonfiction, The River of Doubt, Destiny of the Republic, Hero of the Empire. I have those books by her. But I didn't have this one. So yeah, and he gave me a coffee cup, and Sandy got Carol a little finger ring. And so it was really nice to spend time with Troy and Sandy, and hope they got home safe to Monroe, Louisiana. And look forward to hearing from them in the future. Also, I found a series of novels, and I finished one of them. I read one of them. It's a 5-part quintet. I think that's what it's called. It's called and I read the first one. It's called The Gaudi. A Gaudi is kind of like a class reunion. And this takes place in Oxford, England. The Gaudy by J.I.M. Stewart. I never heard of him, and I came across these series at Action House down the street, and I finished the first one. It says here, on the occasion of an annual dinner, Duncan Pelato revisits his Oxford College for the first time in many years. He's a very successful playwright. He meets again old friends and enemies of his undergraduate days. As the evening passes, he finds himself increasingly involved in a series of extraordinary developments that bring him closer to the new Oxford generation as well as his own. So then the second one, I start reading it. It's when he starts as a student going to Oxford. Arriving for his first term at Oxford, the youthful Duncan Pelayo encounters the mixed collection of undergraduates who become his friends, and it goes on. And then there is the third one, the memorial service. Duncan Pelayo returns to middle age, take up the fellowship at his old college, and this goes on and on. He takes a position there at Oxford as a reader in European literature. And then there is the Madonna, the fourth novel. And then there is the last one, the full term. So yeah, I got these. I enjoyed reading the Gaudy, and so I might pick up another one in the future. These are the ones my wife found at a thrift store. She had a luncheon with some old friends, and there in Hudsonville, and on the way home she stopped at a thrift store. She found me 3 Penguin classics, all by Graham Greene, The Lawless Roads, which is a travel memoir. Commissioned in late 1930s, Graham Greene was commissioned to visit Mexico, find out how the inhabitants had reached to the brutal anti-clerical purges of President Calles. The Lawless Roads is his spellbinding record of his journey. Then she picked up Graham Greene, The Human Factor, a novel. And then she picked up Graham Greene, The Comedian. If I see any Penguin classics, even if I have all Graham Greene's, I didn't have The Lawless Roads. I didn't have in my Graham Greene collection, so I was really pleased to find. But these other ones I had by Graham Greene, I have a huge Graham Greene collection, and I have not read him, but I plan to. So I was kind of pleased to get some Penguin classics. If I see any Penguin classic and it's not underwritten, marked up, or I buy them, I have a whole collection of them. I have some of them over here on my desk. Here I have a whole collection of Penguin classics. These are ones I recently bought or collected. Let's see. I have 30 more down there stacked up somewhere. So then I found this at Gateway Thrift Store. Marcus, I can't pronounce it. Aurelius, or Aurelius, Marcus Aurelius. This is a biography, Warrior, Philosopher, and Emperor by Frank McLynn. I have 3 other biographies of his. He wrote a biography of Napoleon, I have. And he wrote on, I also have a book of his in my American West collection called A Wagon's West. And I have another book of his, but this I found at Gateway, a biography. And I collect the crime novels of Vachss, and I didn't have this one, which I was really surprised. I found this at somewhere, but this is called Footsteps of the Hawk, a Burke novel. I didn't have this one in my Andrew Bish collection. And then I found John Cooper Powell's Wolf Solent. As you all know, I've been reading off and on since last year. I've been reading John Cooper Powell's The Glossberry Romance by him. And this is his in-library thing. When I catalog this is the #1 listed that most people have by him. I found The Anthologist by Nicholas Baker. I had this in paperback, and I found a hardback. I got this at Blue Stockings, The Balkans, Nationalism, War, and the Great Powers, 1804 to 1999 by Misha Glenley. When I cataloged this in library thing, I already had it, but I think I dehauled it and sold it to Blue Stockings. Well, took it in with a bunch of used books. Now I have my copy back, I think, but I'm not sure. And then I found Classical and Christian Ideas in English Renaissance Poetry, A Student's Guide by Isabel Rivers. I found this at Action House. I don't know, it's underlined in certain places, but it was only like, 90 cents. And I collect books on poetry, mostly modernist poetry or beat poetry or French poetry, but I just picked it up. And then I picked up at Gateway. I think this is at Action House, this is at Goodwill. Knowing What We Know, The Transmission of Knowledge from Ancient Wisdom to Modern Life by Simon Winchester. I have almost all of his books, and I didn't have this one, so I was pleased to find one I didn't have. And he's written all kinds of books. The Professor and the Madman, which is about the Cambridge Dictionary, The Men Who United States, The Map That Changed the World, The Man Who Loves China, A Crack in the Edge of the World. Just goes on and on. He's a prolific writer, nonfiction. I look forward to reading this someday. This is a memoir by Edmund Goss, father and son. Picked this up at Action House. This is a South African writer, Allan Panton. But Your Land is Beautiful. I have other novels by him. He wrote a very famous novel called Cry the Beloved Country. I have other novels by him. He writes about apartheid. I collect the writings of Steph J Ghoul, who writes natural history, and I have a whole stack of them. But I found one, I bought one, and when I was cataloging it, I didn't have it in my Steph J Ghoul collection, and it's Dinosaur in a Haystack, Reflections in Natural History. I'm not an evolutionist. I don't hold to Darwinism. I'm a creationist. I believe in the Genesis account of creation. But he is a good writer. He writes about all kinds of different things. He's just a good writer. You don't have to agree with everything when you read somebody. So I found this one from my Steph J Ghoul collection, Dinosaur in a Haystack. I think I might have shown this one, Literary Journalism. I got this from Action House, edited with introduction by Norman Sims and Mark Craner, a new collection of the best American nonfiction. Yeah, you have articles in here by, like John McPhee, who I collect, Joseph Mitchell, who wrote for the New Yorker, Calvin Trillin, who wrote for the New Yorker, Susan Orland. I have some of her books, and I don't know. It looked interesting, so I picked it up. Then I collect the Europa editions, and this is by an Australian writer from Australia, Charlotte Wood, The Natural Way of Things. It says here, winner of the 2016 Indie Book Awards, Book of the Year. I just collect Europa editions. I have, I don't know, 30 of them. If I see them, I just buy them. And they tend to be translations. But this is an Australian writer. This is a memoir, Let Me Finish, by John Angell. He was an editor for the New Yorker. I have other books by him. This is his memoir of growing up in New York as a child. And this acclaimed autobiography, Roger Angell takes an unsentimental look at his early days as a boy growing up in New York with a remarkable father, a mother, Catherine White, who was the founding editor of the New Yorker, and famous stepfather, the writer E.B. White. Intimate, funny, and moving portraits, Angell remembers his surprising relatives, his early attraction to baseball, and the time of Ruth and Gingrich and DiMaggio, and his vivid colleagues during the long career as a New Yorker writer and editor. So, I collect books on the New Yorker magazine. This, I'm not sure if I showed this one. This is The Revolutionary, Samuel Adams. This is a biography by Stacy Shift. I collect biographies. This is on Samuel Adams. I think this came out just recently. Let me see. This came out in 2022. Some of these I might have shown, I don't remember. I have Graham Joyce. I think I got this at Blue Stockings. Some Kind of Fairy Tale by Graham Joyce. It says here in the back a little quote from the Washington Post. This tour de force invites comparison to the work of Murakami and Allan Panton. So perfectly rendered, the novel's conclusion is both beautiful and devastating with its insight into the lives of two decent, honest people. Few times while reading fiction have I been so overcome by how remembering the past and living in the moment combine to form the core of our existence. Then I found Robert Graves. I collect his writings. This is his poetry, New Collected Poems. Yeah, I collect his writings. He's written all kinds of books, fiction and nonfiction, memoirs. This is his poetry. This is another book by Nicholas Baker, The Size of Thoughts, Essays and Other Lumber by Nicholas Baker. These are his essays. This is, I think these are stories by Endo, who's a Japanese writer, The Final Martyrs. I collect his writings. I have 4 or 5 of his short stories and novels by him in my collection. I found The Field Guide to Getting Lost by Rebecca Solent. I have 3 or 4 of her books. They're kind of nonfiction. This is her, like a memoir, A Field Guide to Getting Lost. Yeah, she wrote like, what other books she wrote? I have several of her books. But anyway, I got that one. Then I had this novel, but I dehauled it, and I can't find it. It's called Girls by Frederick Bush, and I had it, and I can't find it. I have other novels by him, so I thought maybe I got rid of it. I can't find it, so I just bought it because I wanted to read it. Another novel by Frederick Bush, Girls. This is the book I had cataloged in Library Thing, but I can't find it. It's by Kiran, The Inheritance of Lost. I'm mispronouncing her name. I had this cataloged, but I can't find it, so I didn't know if I had it. It was a winner of the Booker Prize in 2006. So now I have it. I can't find my other copy if I have it still. And then I found The Pure Gold Baby by Margaret Dribble. I collect her writings. I got this at Gateway a couple weeks ago. I recently read a novel by her. She's a British writer. I really like her writings, and I collect her. She's written lots of novels. I have a biography of her that she wrote on, what's the biography? On Augustus Wilson, a biography I have by her. I have all kinds of books by her, and I collect her. This is A Pure Gold Baby by Margaret Dribble. So yeah, that's the thrift store haul. Like I said, I've been reading, what I've been trying to do is finish novels that I started. So I've been reading this one, the Glassbury Romance. And then I got back out to finish reading Jonathan Latham, The Arrest, a dystopia novel I want to finish. And then I got out to finish reading The Obscene Bird of Night by Jose Desai. This is translated from the Spanish by Hardy St. Martin, Leonard Maids, and Megan McDonald. This is published by New Directions. Yeah, I want to finish reading this. And then I started reading a while back, and I want to finish The Forbidden Notebook by Isabel. I can't pronounce her name. She's an Italian writer. Translated by Anne Goldstein. Yeah, I was reading this. So what I've been trying to do is finish novels that I started reading. And I start reading Richard Russo, Chances Are, that I want to get back into. And I start reading Swan's Way by Proust. So these are kind of things I have on my to be read pile, or to finish reading. I want to finish reading The Childhood, A Biography of Place by Harry Crews. So that's what my goal is. I don't know how long I can keep doing this, finishing novels. I have some up here I haven't finished either. I haven't finished reading The End by artist Bartis. He was The End, translated from the Hungarian by Judith Slasky. I'm almost done. So you can see so I want to finish reading this. And I don't know what else I have up here. Anyway, so that's the thrift store books, what I'm reading, what I want to finish reading. Today is a Saturday. It is, what did I say today was? Today is Saturday the 13th, 2024. It is now 12:28 in the afternoon. Tomorrow is a Sunday. I got books coming in the mail. And yeah, so I'm doing okay. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, it was really good seeing somebody who watches my videos and watching for years. Troy and Sandy from Monroe, Louisiana. So I hope you're having had a good reading week, a good reading weekend. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for subscribing. I might do some more book shelf tours. I might do, somebody wanted me to do a video on books on the Holy Spirit. Somebody wanted me to do a what books I have on the Ottoman Empire. Somebody wanted things like that. I don't have many books on the Ottoman Empire. I do have a lot of books on God the Holy Spirit. And so there's always videos. So I hope you're doing well on this Sunday. No, it's a Saturday. That you have a good new week. Thank you for just being out there, and do pray you're all doing well. And until next time, bye.